What's up, y'all? How's everybody doing? Happy Monday. Happy Monday, everybody. What's good? What's good? What's good? Let me share this out and we're going to get this party started because I cannot tarry today because I have to be somewhere by 8 o'clock. So that's why I'm a little earlier than normal. Because I have to get out of here. Like as soon as we're done, I got to get out of here so I can get somewhere by 8 o'clock. So, how is everybody doing? And I'm gonna do my roll call, and we're gonna get this party started. Okay, what's up, y'all? So, hey, Cool Gamer, what's up, Volvo to Love? Hey, Jarrell. Hey, Lemon Kush, Morgan, Xavier, Abby. Hey, Boo, Lock Queen, Cams, Lauren. What's up? What's up? What's up? Right? Yes, I cannot tarry. What's up, Diva One? Hey, babes. I cannot tarry. Diva One, I'm gonna be reaching out to you. Are you going to be watching and reviewing Chasing LA? Maybe me, you, and Abby can do a panel about midway through the season and kind of talk about what's going on. I don't want to do a week by week, but maybe we could do one midway through the season. But let me know if you're gonna be reviewing it. I ain't even told Abby that yet, but you know, Abby either gonna say yes or she gonna say no. So I ain't worried about. I'm not worried about including Abby in my shenanigans because either she gonna be like, "Girl, what?" or she gonna be like, "All right, whatever." So, what's up, by the way? Hey, Janae, how's everybody doing? So, first of all, before we go too deep into things, I want to show you guys. I mean, yeah, if you saw as you guys were coming in, I had this posted. You guys asked for Girl, Is That Legal? Y'all asked me to reach out to her so we could clear up some of this Bishop Whitehead stuff, honey. And I talked to her today. We had a really good conversation. I was like, girl, we got to save this for the show. Like, she was breaking some stuff. Listen, she was breaking it down for me. Do you hear me? And I said, we got to save this. We got to save this. So we will be having a special edition. We'll be having a special edition tribe meeting tomorrow. We'll be meeting here at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Not the print. Lord Tracy. Tomorrow at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You know, she's Central Standard. And we will be chopping it up. And we're going to talk about Bishop Whitehead, and we're going to talk about the Tasha K appeal. She was actually breaking down a lot about the Tasha K appeal, which I think for those who care, we know Abby don't care, but for those who care, she had a lot of information to break down to explain the appeal and the money and who paying who and how they're going to have to pay and how Tasha K needs to be moving as far as the money side of it is concerned. Bishop Whitehead, she actually had started looking at some of, she was familiar with who I was talking about, and she had started looking at some of the case of the $90,000, the woman that's suing him for $90,000 that said that he took money from her. So she's actually looking at some of that legal work. And I also told her that we wanted some clarification on this. They had a search warrant in New Jersey, but not a search warrant in New York, and the evidence crossing state lines. And we needed some clarification. We just need some clarification, okay? So she'll be here tomorrow. So if you guys have any questions, anything you want cleared up, you know the chat will be an open chat for you guys to ask your questions. We're going to be respectful. But, you know, ask whatever questions you need to ask. And y'all know how she is. When she get to going, she be breaking it down. So anyway, I want to let you guys know that. Did you guys talk about Wendy and her ongoing Wells Fargo? No, we haven't circled back around to Wendy. I saw a clip today with Wendy. Y'all. But you know what, Lauren, I will ask her. I will send her a text if I remember. Let me be honest. If I remember, I'm gonna send her a text and ask her if she can follow up, because I know the last we heard was that she was going to be under a trustee for a certain amount of time. I think that time period is coming up. If it's not already over, it's coming up. And I don't think anything has been said about it. So I'm thinking maybe it hasn't ended yet, because I'm sure that somebody will be talking about it if it had already ended. So But I'll see if she can look that up and follow up on that. I'll try to text her so that she'll have that information ready for us. Okay. I saw something that Tabitha posted about the royal king, but I didn't look at it. But somebody pegging Prince William and Kate. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to go look at that when I get off of here. I've been really, like I said, I've been running all day. I had an appointment this morning, and then I've been ripping and running and then like I said, I have somebody to be at 8:00. So I saw the video post. I'll look at it when I get off of here. Is she doing a live about it, or because I thought I saw her upload a video? Why you shake and turn your head like that? You know Wendy, your girl. Child, y'all know I don't do Wendy, but I think I was more hopeful than in reality. Like I was really hopeful that this woman would get it together. But the more and more I see her, the less she just. But the sad thing is, I think she's been like this for a while, and people have been covering for her, and now she doesn't have that team to cover her anymore. It's an upload. Okay, I'm gonna watch it. Why won't they let Wendy's son be in charge of her money? So I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole, but that is something. Okay, so this is something that Girl Is That Legal explained when we did the video with Wendy a couple of months ago. The problem with that is this: if Wells Fargo is saying that, okay, if you don't have paperwork in place for power of attorney, all of these different things, if you don't have those things in place before you get sick, whether it's physically ill or mentally ill, then you can't put it in place after the fact. Because if the bank is saying that Wendy Williams is not of sound mind and we're worried about her mental capacity to handle her affairs, then she can't put somebody in charge, because that goes against their very argument to say, well, she's not of sound mind and body to spend her own money, but she's of sound mind and body to put somebody in charge of her money. It doesn't work like that. So if there was nothing in place, there was no power of attorney in place, there was no trustee in place, if none of that paperwork was in place on the front end, they can't put that on the back end. The other problem is, if her son isn't the one petitioning the court, her son isn't petitioning the court. The bank is. The bank is saying, listen, something in the buttermilk here ain't clean, and we don't want to be responsible if, God forbid, somebody comes in and empties out her accounts, and then they'll say, why didn't you do your fiduciary duty and protect her money? And so basically what they're saying is, we feel like something's not right over there. And for all we know, Wells Fargo might be saying her son is a part of what ain't right. You see what I'm saying? Hey, y'all see what I'm saying? Her son might be part of the problem. And so Wells Fargo is not going to just put her son in charge just because he's over 18 and he's and he's her next of kin. There's legal loops there, and that's why Simone, aka Girl Is That Legal, that's why she was telling us, listen, we need to put that paperwork in place now. She said you can walk into whoever your bank is. Every bank has a what's some people? Y'all know who I'm talking about. The people that can sign off on legal papers. Put it in the chat. I'm having a brain fart. But every bank has one, and every bank has their paperwork that has you can go into any bank and say, hey, I need paperwork on power of attorney, or it's not trustee, it's power of attorney, or it's basically who will be in charge of your money if something were to happen to you. Notary. Thank you. Every bank has a notary. That doesn't mean the notary is there Monday through Friday at 9 to 5. But yeah, she was like, you should go right now, today, take your mama, your cousin, your husband, your brother, whomever, go to the bank, ask the bank for their form for power of attorney, fill it out there, get the notary to do their thing. You take a copy, the bank puts a copy in their file, and then it's automatic. It's automatic. And that's what she was telling us. And so the problem is Wendy probably didn't have any of that in place. Well, she clearly didn't have any of that in place. And so now the bank is saying, hey, she's not of sound mind and body. They can't come back and say, well, it's okay for her to give her son permission over her money. We just don't think she can make any decisions dealing with anything else. But this she can make a decision about. It doesn't work like that. So that's what the real problem is. Wells Fargo's not great, had some dealings with them and had to get them together. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying Wells Fargo is great, but I'm saying Wells Fargo is covering their ass. Because, and again, girl is that legal. She sort of did a follow-up with us a while ago, and she got more information. And what she said, and she said this on the live, so she said that she saw the paperwork. What happened was, according to her husband was trying to gain access to her accounts, and the bank knew that her husband was not supposed to have access to the money, and he was trying to act as her, basically act in the same capacity as he was when he was her manager husband. And the bank was like, nah, she told us no. When y'all got divorced and all that happened, she took you off of everything, and no. And some stuff happened in that transaction between the husband, Wendy, and the bank that made the bank say, you know what? Something here ain't right. Something here ain't clean. It's something going on. And we don't want, at the end of the day, if her husband spent all her damn money, we don't want her to come back to us and say, well, y'all knew he wasn't supposed to have access to my money. Y'all knew we were divorced. Y'all knew he was no longer my manager. And so that is where that's what she said. Okay. So that's kind of where that is with it. Anyway, the bank manager is usually a notary too. Okay. Notary is a witness beneficiary who you put in place over your stuff. Power of attorney is often used with medical instances. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you for breaking that down. Thank you. She said, yeah. So Girl Is That Legal was telling us, listen, even if you even if you are young, you're in good health, but all that could change in an instant. And if there's specific things you want as far as your money and your medical care, all that, y'all need, we all need to do a better job of putting all that stuff in writing and having our affairs in order. God forbid something happens. So anyway, hey Keisha, I'm glad to see you too, boo. Wells Fargo is the devil, but they get sued enough to want to avoid. Yeah, and that's really what it boiled. The whole case with Wendy Williams boiled down to, they saw something they didn't like. And what happened was, again, this is according to Simone, Girl Is That Legal. What happened was the person who was her personal banker. When you have that kind of money, you have a personal banker. You have somebody that you deal with. They know you. They know your business. They know your ins and your outs. They know who's who and what's what. She was the one that sort of was like, oh, whoa, something ain't right here. And she, put it up the chain of command. And it wasn't, she didn't make the decision. Someone above her level looked over everything and said, something here ain't right. And that's when they did what they did. So we'll see. This whole conversation made me text my mom about getting her affairs in order for her and her husband, because I don't want to have to fight nobody. And Abby, that's not that. Listen, that's real talk. That's real. Real talk. Real talk. I've never had any problems with Wells Fargo, but I don't discount those who do. Yeah, I mean, my mortgage was with Wells Fargo. It's not anymore, but at one point in time, my mortgage was with Wells Fargo. I didn't have any problems with Wells Fargo, but I definitely have seen enough. But listen, all of the banks got shit with them. I mean, there's some banks that are better than others, but Wells Fargo ain't one of them. Bank of America, if you got your money in Bank of America, I'm telling you now, take your money out. Bye, leave, get out. Bank of America ranks, if you talk to people who are money people who know money, understand money, and know banking, all of them will tell you that bank, unless they, in cahoots, all of them will tell you that Bank of America ain't it. But anyway, I don't want to go too far. We done already went down the rabbit hole. I don't want to go too far in the rabbit hole. Right, you can override as long as you're 5. Yeah, it's only there if, God forbid, something happens. Yeah, if you have sound mind and body, you can do what you want. Being the youngest, I was a power of attorney for both. Yeah. Last night's episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta, Got me thinking because what happened to me if my mom precedes her husband? Yeah, listen. These are the things that we don't like to talk about, but at the end of the day, death is gonna come knocking on all of our door. Some sooner rather than later, some more tragic than others. But listen, that's one thing we can't avoid is death. It just is what it is. It just is what it is, and I hate to be blunt about it, but listen, blunt, whatever. That's it is what it is, y'all. All right. So let's get into some of these stories. But we'll again we can circle back around to that tomorrow. We can we want to get Bishop Whitehead. We want to get the Tasha K appeal, but we can definitely follow back up with that tomorrow. I don't think we can talk about it enough. I don't think we can talk about these things enough. I know about beneficiary things because of when I did stuff with my bank. My oldest is almost 18, but was 14 at the time. She's my beneficiary. I'm my mother's power of attorney medically. Yeah, we just have to have that stuff in order. It just is what it is. I was Bank of America a long time ago. Listen, I used to work for them. So that's when I tell you, I'm telling you what I know. I'm telling you what I know. I worked for them. I used to work for Nations Bank. Some of y'all might be familiar with Nations Bank. And then Nations Bank merged with Bank of America. And I wasn't there long when it was Bank of America, but baby, I was there long enough. Let me just put it like that. They have a crazy documentary about Wells Fargo on Netflix. Ex-employees are talking about them defrauding customers to scam prices. It was very good. I think they're probably talking about what happened a couple of years ago, where they were actually opening up accounts, dummy accounts, and real customers' names, and they didn't know nothing about it. Child. Cause I ain't finna be no damn Riley going through my struggle just so I can get my money, child. I've heard the same about Bank of America and Wells Fargo are some crooks. Real Housewives of Atlanta definitely did highlighting the subject. Yeah, and listen, I mean, if y'all saw my review of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, y'all know how I feel about it. But the way I feel about that situation with, first of all, I think it was a great conversation. I'm glad they got it on camera because it's important. It is important to put your orders in, to put your business in place and get your affairs in order is what I'm looking for. It is important to get your affairs in order, especially when you're dealing with blended families, especially when you're dealing with stepchildren, especially when you're dealing with second husbands, second wives, because the reality of the situation is somebody gonna always feel like they didn't get what they were supposed to get. But ultimately, I feel like the daughters should have been brought in once the decisions were made, and they should have been told what's going to happen rather than having an input, because ultimately Candy and Todd weren't even on the same page. So that's never, in my opinion, they should have never brought those girls in to talk about money until they were on the same page and they were saying, listen, we've done our trust. This is what it looks like. The only questions they should have been asking those girls was, do you guys feel comfortable being guardians to your younger siblings? Do you think that is something you are that you are comfortable doing? God forbid something were to happen to us. We need guardians for Ace and whatever the baby name is. I forget the baby name. That's it. As far as the money is concerned, that ain't that damn money. So if Todd and Candy decide that they're gonna give them whatever their inheritance is, they're gonna spread it out over 20 years. Guess what? They ain't got shit to do with that. If they decide they're gonna give it to them in a lump sum, guess what? They ain't got shit to do with that. But I'm sure, but they were Blaze, thank you, baby. But of course, they're filming a show, but I think that the conversation was important. I received a $700 class action lawsuit because of that from Wells Fargo. Hold on. From an account I had a decade ago, adding fake savings account. There you see, Lipstick Club podcast. That's what I'm saying, y'all. Yeah, I love credit unions too. I'm a survivor of Wells Fargo. I snitched on every illegal thing they did on my way out. I know that's right, Cam. So you were a whistleblower. Okay. I had to close my account with Bank of America. I can do better job of saving my money myself. Child, listen, I told y'all this before. I'll say this and then we're going to really get out of here. I told y'all this before. One of the things that Bank of America got in trouble for, because I closed my account the day I quit my job, is the day I closed my account at Bank of America. Okay. One of the things that they got in trouble for doing was, and this isn't so much an issue nowadays because people really don't write checks anymore. But back in the day, when people used to really write checks, one of the things that they used to do, if you had, let's say you had a direct deposit coming in at midnight, like your paycheck was coming in, direct deposit. Let's say you wrote 2 or 3 checks that hit your account the same day as your direct deposit hit your account, right? So let's say you knew you were getting paid, so you went to the grocery store on Wednesday, because usually checks took 2 to 3 business days to post to your account. Listen, I know, okay? So you went to the grocery store on Wednesday. Maybe you filled up at the gas station on Thursday. Well, you wouldn't have wrote a check to the gas station, but y'all know what I'm saying. You wrote 2 or 3 checks on Wednesday and Thursday, right? Knowing that your check was going to be in the bank, you knowing your money was going to be posted that Friday at midnight. What they would do was they would run all of your outstanding checks first, so it would create an overdraft on your account, and then they could charge you $30 or however much they were charging per overdraft, and then would give you credit for your paycheck. And they got in trouble for that. They had to pay a lot of fines for that, because people were like, wait a minute, my money was supposed to post. Like, why would you run the check before you would post my paycheck? Like, you knew. And the thing is that it was all electronic transfer, so they knew the paycheck was there. It wasn't like the paycheck was hidden. The paycheck was there. They knew it was there. So those are the kind of tricks they used to play, child. Anyway, let's get into these things. Even when it's in writing, someone is going to have an issue, but as long as it's in writing, it can be a hush. Yeah. Yep. TD Bank is bad too. Dang, I didn't know that. Even Social Security needs to be discussed when you have multiple marriages. After 7 years, your first spouse is eligible for your money, even when you remarry. Ooh. Kenneth's got that settlement too. Well, shit, I didn't. Well, I didn't have no account with. And by the time all that stuff came out with Bank of America, I did get the paperwork that I was, but I ain't get no big money, because again, I told y'all, I was with Bank of America less than a year, because once Nations Bank merged into Bank America, I wasn't even there I was there long enough to cash out my stock. They gave us stock, right? And again, if I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't have cashed out my stock. But well, actually, the way the stock was set up, you had to cash it out when you quit. Like, you couldn't. It was stock, but it was only good while you were employee. So I had to cash it out once I left. But yeah, I cashed out my stock. But I was there long enough to be eligible to cash, because you had to be there. It was certain criteria to the stock. I was there long enough to get my stock, and then I was out. And that's actually when I started teaching. When I left the bank. No, that's a lie. I went to another bank. I went to Chase. I worked at Chase, and then I started teaching. Anyway, child, so y'all know that was a long time ago. Oh Lord, Abby and her marital situation. Anyway, did you see the black bishop scammer owns? Child, listen, I'm not gonna use up too much time talking about the bishop today, only because we're gonna have Simone on here tomorrow, and we're gonna be talking about him tomorrow. So I ain't doing that. I saw his closet. I'm not doing that with the bishop. I'm not. I'm just not with him, because you're not that tone deaf. Like, you know that what you're doing is just gluttonous and ridiculous. Like, you're not that tone deaf, sir. We need a bank story time, really be. Well, from when I worked at the bank, it ain't a whole lot to tell. I mean, I will say this, and if I would not if when I do a banks, I will do one. But I won't make that members only. And the only reason why I say I won't make that members only is because I think everybody, I think everybody needs to hear what I learned working at the bank. I wouldn't make that a members only. But I learned a lot about what creditors can and cannot do. I learned a lot about the laws of debt, because I worked in the debt collections. I was the person that called you when you got behind on your car note. That was me. I worked in the debt collection. I repossessed people's cars. I dealt with celebrities. I had to call celebrities about them being behind on their bills. And most of them didn't know they were behind because they don't pay their own damn bills. But, all of that. So I could do it. I mean, I don't have no problem doing that. But some of the stuff I learned, I still use today. I mean, even something as simple as how early they can call you and how late they can call you. They can't call you before a certain time, and they can't call you after a certain time. And if they do, they're in violation, and they could be fined if you complain and all that good stuff. I'm gonna tell you one company that used to call me. They used to violate all the time when I had Comcast. Comcast would call me at 8 o'clock in the morning. You can't call me that early. I want to say it's not. I want to say they can't call. No, John, they can call at 8. Oh, well, I used to tell them they couldn't call me that early because I thought it was 9 o'clock. But there is a set time. They cannot call you before a certain time. They can't call you after. I thought it was 9 o'clock because when I worked at the bank, well, maybe we did it as a courtesy, but we didn't call nobody before 9 o'clock. But yeah, I thought it was 9 o'clock. See, I got to update myself. But when I worked at the bank, we didn't call nobody before 9 o'clock. And I know it was illegal to call before or after a certain time. They're not allowed to talk to anybody they can call 8 a.m. no later than 9 p.m. Say, well, thank you, John. Then I got to check because I sure did used to cuss their ass out though. I used to be like, listen, it's 8 o'clock. You can't call me this early. It's 8 damn. I'm like, do you know what time it is? It is 8 damn o'clock in the morning. But anyway, we weren't allowed to talk to anybody whose name isn't on the account, even if you're married, unless your spouse gives us permission. Or whoever gives us permission. But if your name ain't on the loan, trust me, I got cussed out by many a husband and many a wife child because I wouldn't talk to them about the account. Really, hope you wasn't acting like no, oh no, I didn't play those games. Nope. I didn't play no games with the money. Nope. But yeah, it was certain things that I learned there. I got to freshen up because Joan just hit me to something. I got to freshen up because I was wrong. I like I said, when I worked at the bank, we didn't call before 9 o'clock. And I thought that was because, we got to go through training. I could have sworn they trained us that it was 9 o'clock. I'm almost certain they did. But that might not have been the law. That might have just been their policy. But I know we didn't call nobody before 9 o'clock. And I worked the second shift. I came in at, what time did I come into work? I came in at, did I work like 11 to 7? I worked like 11 to 7 or something like that. I don't remember. And then, and so we would start, like, as it got after 5 o'clock, we would start calling people across like the mid, like in the different time zones. And by the time I got off work, we would call on the West Coast. And they would always ask for people to stay later to work until 9. So we could call people on the West Coast and in other time zones. You can also request them not to call you at all, and they have to honor it. Yeah, now that, yep. Now that I remember as well. I remember as well. Yep. Yeah, I don't play with I don't play those games. I didn't see anybody get arrested, but I definitely saw some people get walked out. I did that. No. I definitely saw. I tell y'all how I cussed out my supervisor. Yep. I cussed out. She was a bully though. She was terrible. I mean, being at the age that I am now, I would handle it differently than I did then. But yeah. And then I quit a couple of weeks after that because my mother was like, she said, listen, that ain't even what you went to school for. It ain't worth. It's not, because I was getting ulcers and everything. Like, I was having stomach issues working there and everything. And she was like, listen, you too young to be having ulcers and stomach issues. Like, well, actually the beginning of an ulcer. Let me say that. I ain't have like a full-fledged, but when I went to the doctor about it, the doctor was like, that sounds like you developing an ulcer. Like, my mother said, you too young for that. So yeah, I wasn't there too much after I cussed her out. I wasn't there too much longer, child. I was surprised I didn't get fired. But I didn't get fired. But when I put in my 2-week notice, she wouldn't let me work my 2-week notice. I remember that. I put in my 2-week notice. She was like, well, today can be your last day. I said, I don't want today to be my last day. I said, I was going to work 2 more weeks. She was like, no, that's okay. I was like, ooh, you a bitch. Ooh. Anyway, the feds have busted people who were with the cartels. The FBI raided the building. See? No, ma'am. Nah, that wasn't my time. Those damn car warranty folks out of work. Chad, I can't stand them car warranty people. I walked out my bank collections job on my lunch break. I hated it, child. Your mom was right. If the job makes you ill, get out. Yeah. I mean, listen. And I was young. Like I said, I was in my early 20s. That was my first job out of college. And my mother was like, that ain't even what you went to school for. Like, that ain't even what your degree is in. Like, your degree ain't even in finance or anything dealing with money. Like, girl, bye. Anyway, y'all, let's get out of this. Because y'all know me. Y'all got me down the rabbit holes. Nowadays they begging for 2 weeks notice. Child, she should. And look, I was in my feelings because I didn't know. I had never heard of that before. I was like, she could do that. I was like, she could do that. Child. Anyway, the car warranty people hate me because they'll be like, we're calling about your such and such and such and such. And I'll be like, which one? Because I've literally my last 4 cars have all been the exact same car, just the newer version of it. It's been the same car. So I'll be like, which one? Well, you have the such and such and such. Well, which one? What year? Well, you don't know what year. Oh, I know what year my car is. Do you know what year you're calling me about? Y'all, they be getting so mad at me. Anyway. Right. Bank issues and took over the live. Child, let's get back to this. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I have a new car with a new warranty, so how is it already expired? Right, okay. I had a bank job do me like that, and now they're begging and pleading for employees. Right, child. I just automatically hang up. Probably missed a few calls hanging up because I don't know who it is. Oh, I don't answer calls I don't know. Like, y'all lucky if I answer the call I do know. I damn sure don't answer the ones I don't know. Child. Anyway, so listen. So today a couple of things went down. Right, the car warranty people will call you and you didn't even have a car. Right, that's what Abby said. So Deshaun Watson, who we've talked about a few times over here, who has been accused by, I believe it's 24 different women of sexual misconduct during massages. He has not been brought up on any criminal charges due to lack of evidence, I believe. But there are or were a bunch of civil suits. I think he settled most of those civil suits, but there are a few that are still out there. The NFL has finally decided they were going to punish him. They have suspended him from 6 games. In the grand scheme of things, thank you, El Teddy. There's one case still out there. In the grand scheme of things, that's half the season. But the reality of the situation is, first of all, it's gonna probably be reduced. Let's just be honest. It's gonna probably be reduced. But I don't know. Excuse me. It just seems very tone deaf. Their response, the length of time it took them to respond. This has been going on for years. El Teddy did his first report on the Deshaun Watson case. It'll be 2 years in Christmas because I remember it was around the holidays when he did it. I think it was around the holidays, El Teddy. Am I right? When you did your first your first report, it's been almost 2 years. Oh, it's 18 games. Okay, so it's only 1/3 of the season. Okay, well that's worse. Okay. The suspension is a sham unless there's something we don't know about these women. He has a permanent creep face. It's odd as hell. Lots of sex addiction going on, child. This one has so many layers and par for the course. No response from the NFL. Right. It's like 18 months. So around Christmas would be 2 years, right? Give or take. Around 2 years. Yeah. So that's about, yeah. Still side eyeing the girls who weren't masseuses because girls, what you suing for? Because if he sexually assaulted them, he sexually assaulted them. Why they gotta be a masseuse? I mean, if there was an assault, there was an assault. I'm not saying there was or there wasn't. I'm just saying if there was. So anyway, that came out today that the NFL. Now I find it curious that all of a sudden the NFL has something to say. The closer we get to the beginning of the football season, I find it interesting that now they got something to say. But whatever, child, whatever. I feel like there's something going on with the setup with Houston sabotaging his trade value. But you can't say all these women are lying if there were one or two possibly, but double digits, sir. I mean, El Teddy, correct me if I'm wrong, but he got a pretty good contract. Like I don't see what he lost. I mean, El Teddy, am I wrong? His contract was that deal he got with Cleveland was pretty damn good. The NFL is feeling comfortable only suspending him because he wasn't prosecuted and the team was complicit, so they're treading lightly. Now that there you go, Bat. Now that has a lot to do with it too. The team did not respond in a way maybe they should have responded back in Texas, so that's valid. But I feel like Deshaun Watson's. I feel like he got a pretty decent contract in spite of all of this. But I could be wrong. They ain't sabotaging nothing. Got the highest guarantee. That's what I thought. That's exactly what I thought. I thought his contract because I feel like I remember when he got the contract, people were like, "Damn, like you." And that was when he was. That's when he still had all these cases over his head. Like the stuff hadn't been settled yet, and he still got. Okay, thank you, El Teddy. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. He got to deal with Cleveland after being out the past season and being cleared of criminal charges. He wanted to be traded from Houston prior to the allegations. Well, if that's the case, it backfired on Houston. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. Um, right, Houston covered for him. What's up, L Love? Hey, boo. Anyway, he will still play 12 games to get them in the playoffs. Y'all think he's gonna get into the playoffs? Child. We'll see, honey. We'll see. It's your birthday today, Below. Y'all know what to do. Everybody wish Below a happy birthday in the chat. Y'all light it up. Light that chat up. Happy birthday. Hey, hey. Happy birthday. Hey, hey, hey. There you go. Yeah, girl. All right. So why none of these girls' daddies met him in the parking lot with a tire iron for his knees? Child, I don't know. Don't get me telling nobody's lies because I don't know. He probably keep his security. Now, in other news, we got another repeat offender child. We got Mystikal. We got Mystikal. Rapper Mystikal, former No Limit Soldier, was arrested today on a bunch of shit. Let me hold on because I want to make sure because it was a bunch of stuff, child. It was robbery. It was the R word. It was false imprisonment. It was a bunch of stuff. Yeah, you still a member. Uh, let me say this, y'all. Let me say this. And I used to love me some Mystikal. I really did. The first time that Mystikal was arrested, he went to jail for it, and he got out. Then he was charged with damn near the exact same thing. And I believe charges were dropped due to lack of evidence. And now we have it happening a third time. Y'all, as much as I like me some Mystikal, where there's smoke, there is what? There's definitely fire. Where there is smoke, there's definitely fire. And there's clearly something ain't right with you, sir. And I don't have all the details and I don't know all the details. But from what I do know, what I have found out, sir, how do you put yourself back in that position on accident? He's a child. He definitely is. He definitely is. He definitely is. So I'll keep y'all posted. He was denied bail, which is a good thing because the last time they did give him, they allowed him to bond himself out on $3 million bond. But this time the judge was like, nah, bro, you just going to stay right here with us. You just going to stay right here with us. Okay. Now I'm going to be side-eyeing whenever I hear danger. Child, listen. And as far as canceling him, I mean, I never made an official proclamation, but I mean, I can't tell you the last time I listened to a Mystikal song. You know what I'm saying? But I did grow up. I did like Mystikal. Like I said, I really used to love Mystikal. Was actually my favorite off of the whole No Limit roster. He was actually my favorite. But I can't play with you, sir. I can't play with you. I can't. Shouts out to Angelina Jolie's daughter. What's her name? Zaya. She is starting at Spelman College. She will be a freshman at Spelman this year. That's Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt's daughter. Although I think Angelina Jolie had adopted her before she married Brad Pitt, but whatever, child. That's their daughter. Footage has hit the internets of them at a welcome party for Spelman students where, child, they was trying to get Angelina Jolie to do the electric slide, child. Angelina Jolie, you got like 3 kids that you done stole. You ain't learned the electric slide yet. Ain't nobody taught you the electric slide yet. This your first black cookout. Talk about a duck out of water. I said, how she can't do the electric slide? Man, I'm sure. I guess she can't do the wobble or the Cupid shuffle either. I mean, girl. Oh, Zaya is Zaya is Dwayne Wade's daughter. Okay, Zahara. Thank you. But yeah, but congratulations to her. She's going to Spelman. Shouts out to her going down to the HBCU. Go for it. Angelina Jolie making Thank you, Tabitha. Hey, boo. Angelina Jolie making a donation to Spelman in 5, 4, 3, 2. Moving on, child. Moving on. Y'all, I got a public service announcement I need to make, y'all. The only one they know is the cha-cha slide for some odd reason. Every white wedding I go to. What's up, Jonathan? Listen. I love Angelina. She lives her life on her own terms and don't give a damn. Mm-hmm. So, let me say this. I need to make a public service announcement. I need everybody to listen to me, please. I need everybody's ears close to their speaker. I need y'all to hear me, and I need y'all to hear me well. I need y'all to hear me, and I need y'all to hear me well. Y'all ready? Can y'all please, can y'all please stop mistaking actors for the roles that they play? Please, listen. The woman who played Keyshawn down to the P Valley, y'all about to get her arrested in Mexico. Y'all are about to get that woman arrested down to the Mexico. She said she was walking through the airport down to the Mexico, and y'all was yelling at her down to the Mexico, telling her she need to kill that white man. And what is taking her so long to kill that white man? Like, literally, that is what people were yelling at her walking through the airport. Can we please normalize that that's not, she is a character. She had to go down to her Instagram and be like, excuse me, listen, Listen, y'all need to talk to the P Valley writers. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. They didn't talk to the P Valley writers. I act. I act. She said they were literally yelling at her in the airport. In Mexico, of all places, y'all gonna yell at her in the Mexican airport? Why she ain't killed that white man yet? And she need to kill that. Y'all, when I saw that, I said, y'all be doing too much. Ever since Jada Pinkett Smith rolled up in Low Down Dirty Shame, rolled up on that man and knocked the shit out of him, y'all just think it's okay. Y'all just think it's okay. Please, let's normalize the actors from the roles that they play. That's like black people who still hate Clifton Powell. I still hate Clifton Powell too. But you know why? Because Clifton Powell always played a bad guy. And even when he playing a good guy, you don't trust him. You don't trust him the whole movie because he always playing the bad guy. And you always waiting for him to do something he ain't supposed to do. You listen, we can't trust Clifton Powell. Take it as a compliment, sis. We concerned. Or the black people that still hate my boy, the dude that was in Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Abby say she still side-eye Blair Underwood. See, this is what I'm talking about, y'all. This is what I'm talking about. Y'all need to stop. Listen, we need to normalize. Okay? Hilarious. Y'all are hilarious. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna read y'all and this is something I thought was really, really interesting. This was written by Bill Russell's daughter. And she wrote this, she put this on her Instagram about her dad. And I want to read this to you guys because I thought that it was definitely it was deep. When I read it, it definitely it was deep. And so let me read it to you guys. So it says, what was Bill Russell's life like while he was racking up 11 rings? His daughter writes, one night we came home from a 3-day weekend and found we had been robbed. Our house was in shambles and NIGGA was spray painted on the walls. The burglars had poured beer on the pool table and ripped up the felt. They had broken into my father's trophy case and smashed most of his trophies. I was petrified and shocked at the messages that everyone was very upset. The police came and after a while they left. It was then that my parents pulled back their bed covers only to discover that the burglars had defecated in their bed. Every time the Celtics went out on the road, vandals would come and tip over our garbage cans. My father went to the police station to complain. The police told him that raccoons were responsible, so he asked where he could apply for a gun permit. The raccoons never came back. The only time we were really scared was after my father wrote. I'm sorry, I had to move the pages. Was when my father wrote an article about racism in professional basketball for the Saturday Evening Post. He earned the nickname Felton X. We received threatening letters and my parents notified the FBI. What I found most telling about this episode is that years later, after Congress had passed the Freedom of Information Act, my father requested his FBI file and found that he was repeatedly referred to therein as an arrogant Negro who won't sign autographs for white children. So that's something, and I mean that wasn't her Instagram. Somebody posted it on their Instagram. This was something that she wrote in reference to her father. So when you again, I talked about it a little bit yesterday. Hey, Cash Apps and BS. I think this was from a book. I said it was her Instagram, but it wasn't her Instagram. Somebody reposted it on their Instagram. I feel like this was something she wrote in a book or maybe an article. So again, when we talk about the doors and the trailblazing, you know, it's always easy for us to be on the outside looking in and think that it was so easy or he did it with such grace and not understanding that the sacrifices that the family makes. Because if every time he went out of town on an away game, the house was vandalized, what about his wife and children? Where did they stay? What kind of protection was there for them? What kind of fear did they live in? Talk about PTSD. Child, Boston still is. Listen, I went to Boston a couple of years ago, and I had a racist experience. My parents went to Boston in the 1980s, and they had a really, they were damn near. They went up to Boston for a football game, and the bus driver, they went. There was a bus trip, and the bus driver told them, and this was like in the mid 80s. And the bus driver told them, he said, be here as soon as the game over. Win, lose, or draw, you need to be here as soon as the game over. As a matter of fact, I think he told them to leave early. Like, start walking back. I think he told them, like, before the game is over, we all need to be on this bus. Like, you need to be on the bus before the game is over. Whether we winning, whether we losing. And literally, they were walking to the bus, and they were literally being called all sorts of racial slurs and this and that and the other. They got on the bus, and my mother even talked about one night they went to a restaurant while they were there for the weekend. And I think like that Saturday night, they went to this Chinese restaurant for dinner, and they wouldn't serve them. They told them they could have carry out, but they couldn't eat inside. And this was in the mid 80s. So, and y'all saw what LeBron James said that a few weeks ago. LeBron James did an interview a few weeks ago, and he said, they said, well, why do you hate playing in Boston? How come you don't like Boston? And he hesitated, but he finally said, because they racist. He said they racist as fuck. So listen, Boston still got some issues. And I ain't saying this everybody, and I ain't saying this everywhere. But LeBron James still talks about their fans and the things that the fans say to him. So, and we talking about 2022. So anyway, I just thought that was something. I thought that was interesting, something to bring to y'all. Listen, I'm gonna even Black people born in Boston hate it or talk about it. Plus, it's in top 5 U.S. racist cities, child. People keep saying racism don't exist. I don't know who the hell's saying that. Ain't nobody saying that but white people. I'm just saying. I don't know who's saying that, child. I don't know who's saying that. Anyway, a Chinese restaurant wasn't served them? Nope. Told them they could get carry out and take it back to their hotel. But it was a group of them. And I don't think, the way my mother explains it, she doesn't explain, the way she explains it is the people at the restaurant weren't being racist, but they didn't want any trouble. Like, it was a bunch of them. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, I don't want no shit. Because like I said, they were on a bus trip. So it was a bunch of people from DC that went to Boston to see the Washington football team play against the Patriots. And this was before the Patriots became a dynasty. The Patriots weren't shit. They weren't good. And this is when the Redskins were good. I'm sorry. The Washington football team. This is when they were good, right? In the 80s is when we were winning Super Bowls and they couldn't win a game. So it was different. The climate was different. And my mom was saying, like, they looked nervous. It wasn't like they were like, nah, y'all can't eat here. They looked nervous, like, oh shit, it's a bunch of Black people coming in here trying to eat. And we just don't want no shit with the white people that's here. That's the impression they got. They didn't get the impression that the people at the restaurant were like, hell nah, y'all can't eat here. But I mean, it was still the same. Like, and of course my parents were like, nah, we good. Like, if we can't eat in here, we don't need to carry it home. We good. Child, Candace Owens don't count. There are exceptions to every rule. She is the exception to every Black person rule. Candace Owens don't count, child. She don't count. I don't count her for nothing. Now I can't even eat Boston baked beans anymore, child. All right, so listen, we have the shit we did not ask for. I'm gonna drop the link if I don't have long, but if anybody wants to come up and just speak on real quick, like I said, I don't have long. I gotta really be off of here by no later than 7:30 because I literally I got somewhere to go. But I'll drop the link for a few minutes because I only have one more thing to talk about. Like I said, it wasn't a whole lot going on today, so I don't have a whole lot to talk about. Yeah, shout out to the 108 people in the chat. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe. And if you have not hit that like button, please do that at this time. Now, For those who are new here, we have a segment called Shit We Did Not Ask For. The way it goes is this. I'm going to tell you what it is, and you're going to put a 1 in the chat if it's something you would ask for. You're going to put a 2 in the chat if it's something you did not ask for. And you're going to put a 3 in the chat if it's a strong hell no, okay? If you are a member on the channel, you have the emojis that say yes, no, hell no, okay? So you can use your membership emojis. Now, are we ready for the shit we did not ask for? Okay. All right. Here it is. Oh, went the wrong way. I went the wrong way. Okay, here it is right here. Y'all ready? Applebee's is set to release a line of chicken flavored lip gloss. We have honey pepper, we have sweet chili kiss, we have barbecue, and we have give me hot buffalo. Applebee's will release a line of lip gloss, chicken flavored lip gloss. Who asked for this? It was a no as soon as I said Applebee's. You said as soon as I said Applebee's, it was a no for you. Who the hell asked for that? Yeah. I already think they're doing too much with like the chapstick and stuff. Because I was in the CVS the other day and they had like s'mores flavored chapstick and vanilla chai latte flavored chapstick. I said, y'all doing a lot with the chapstick. But who the hell want hot wing flavored lip gloss? Who wants that? Can Applebee's make their food taste like it didn't come out of the microwave first? Well. 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 I can't argue with you on that one, honey. Is the lip gloss edible? That's all people gonna be doing is eating it. That's all they're gonna be doing is eating it. Someone white came up with that. Shout. But I bet you it's gonna be marketed in black areas. I bet you that's where you're gonna find it, in the black areas. Hey, Miss Baythang. Hey, boo. What's up, Star? You don't know about, and what man or woman want to kiss? Who want to have a kiss and then walk away tasting barbecue sauce? Who does that? Who does that? Child. Little mama's gonna be the spokesperson. Child. Why would you buy lip gloss from a restaurant? Well, I don't think they're gonna be selling it at the restaurant. They're gonna be probably selling it, at the, CVS, and actually, it's probably gonna be at the beauty supply store, child. It's probably gonna be at the beauty supply store. That's the shit you find down to the beauty supply store, child. You don't find that. That ain't something you find, at the CVS, child. You'll find that at the dollar store, the Family Dollar, the Dollar Tree, the beauty supply. Child. All right, y'all. Now let's talk about this, and then we're going to get out of here. There has been some speculation over the last 24 hours that maybe this whole Neyo situation is a hoax. This Neyo Crystal situation is a hoax to try to drum up publicity for his album that dropped that ain't nobody buying. Okay? Yeah, I heard about that, Diamond Pearl. Okay, Tora said she would buy it. Okay. Well, listen, there's always going to be one. You let us know. Listen, do a review. You find it, you buy it, and you let us know. People aren't going to the restaurants anymore, so now they're going through hook or crook to get some coins, child. So rumor is that people are starting to speculate about whether this Neyo situation is real or not. Now we know yesterday early yesterday morning, his wife posted. Oh, you said you wouldn't. My bad, my bad, my bad. That his wife posted that Neyo been out here sleeping with the paid escorts unprotected, and that she tired of lying and pretending, yada yada yada. Now he came back later on yesterday and said he will not address anything publicly because he don't feel like that's fair to his churn, and he's gonna keep it private. Well, today he posted a story on Instagram that says something about the people who are talking bad about me, y'all gonna find out that they really need me or some shit. I don't know. And then his wife posted a video with the song Fuck Nigga Free playing in the video. But she still had her wedding ring on, which caused people to question why she would be wearing her wedding ring. And her response was, I earned these 7 carats. And that's what she said. She said, I earned these 7 carats. Now, the reason why a lot of people are questioning whether it's real or not is because they said, listen, he dropped an album that nobody knew he dropped. And maybe he is desperate for some sort of attention because now that's exactly what he's getting. People are talking about him. They're getting attention. Now, remember, this happened a few years ago. He filed for divorce. They got back together. Then they separated again. Next thing you know, they got back together and she was pregnant. And then they had this whole big vow renewal wedding situation, right? Now, let me read y'all this. This is coming from a reporter in the Philadelphia area. He posted this down to his social media, and it reads the following. I really need to delete some pictures on my damn phone. Okay. This is coming from Ernest Owens. Ernest Owens is a respected journalist up in the Philadelphia area, and he says the following. Now that Neyo is in the news, I can finally tell y'all how he was in Philly Target in Rittenhouse 2 weeks ago trying to get fan pandemonium, and no one even noticed him. He was there for a concert at the Dell, and it just so happened to park his Mercedes tour van in front of the Target. He was there with an entourage of about 5 other dudes, all dressed in black. You had to see it to believe it. He literally walked around with them at the entire store for like 10 minutes. I noticed him because he was trying to hide his head and wore some wild tint shades, but nobody around him seemed to pay him or his crew any mind. At one point, he even took his shades off, and again, nobody noticed him. They really walked up and down that damn store for some level of hype, and it never came. Would y'all recognize Neyo if y'all just saw him on the street? Why did Washington have to change the name of their team, and Atlanta's baseball team is still named the Braves along with the Tomahawk Chop? I'm trying to think of a short answer. The short answer would be political pressure in the different markets. That would really ultimately be my answer. Dan Schneider, the owner of the Washington Football Organization, is in a very vulnerable space. For a long time, he refused. For a long time, he said he wasn't going to do it. He wasn't going to change the name. He would never change the name. But he is in a very vulnerable space because he's got some shit going on behind the scenes as it relates to sexual misconduct on his staff and things like that. He's under a federal investigation, and I think, and that makes a difference. That makes a difference. I will recognize Um, I would recognize Neyo, but I wouldn't care like that. He's a little too sassy. Why do you sound like you're reading a children's story? I would recognize him, but not be starstruck. Damn shame I wouldn't know that man if he came twirling in my house. Neil do have to look where if you think, wait a minute, Neil do have that look where if you wouldn't thinking about him, he can move likely. Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, I know what Neil looks like, but I wouldn't pay attention. I think the Braves name is not considered a racial slur. Just guessing. Yeah, the word Braves is not considered a racial slur. Um, whereas the former name of the Washington football team is considered a racial slur. The tomahawk chop, no, that's another, But yeah, the racial slur, yeah, and that is a difference as well. Diamond Pearl, that is a difference as well. Um, but yeah, so yep. But yeah, so that's pretty much it, y'all. Please, and thank you right now. Hit that like button. It's 104 people in the chat. If you are not subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button. And I'm getting ready to let me make sure I got everything off my list today. Sometimes I don't be going over everything that's on my list, but I did. I covered everything on my list, and I got to get out of here. I've dropped the link. Nobody hit the link, so we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Don't forget tomorrow we'll be here at 6:00 to talk with Girl Is That Legal. We will be discussing Bishop Whitehead and Tasha K's appeal. Like I said, I will ask her to follow up on any new information on Wendy Williams, and we will talk about that tomorrow. So I look forward to it, and I will talk to y'all later. Mwah! Peace.